As much as I want the channels dredged, and I do, I've been there a long time, I've come to the considered position and conclusion that I do not want this dredge project to continue under the current proposal. I may be the only one that feels that way. And here's why I say that. There's no access to the dredged area, period. It's a 24-foot wide cut, which I totally support and understand, down the center of a channel that's 100 feet wide from seawall to seawall. That leaves 38 feet on either side that's going to remain just like it is at low tide today, and that's mud. You cannot get to the dredged area.
There is a nationwide permit that has been issued by the Corps of Engineers that allows dredging up to 25 cubic yards for an individual to be able, that could be utilized to access the main cut, the 24-foot cut. There's no DHEC permit required. There's no permit required from the Corps. They've already issued that permit to all the citizens of the U.S.
Well, my name is Ronald Terry. I live on 49th Avenue. I agree with the previous gentleman about dredging the channels. The finger channels is not going to do the property owners any good. Also, I'd like to comment on the council's comments about people calling up and feel that they should not have to pay for the dredging. Let me ask you about a project that costs $15 million. Did people call up and say, this park is not going to help me, this is not going to affect me, I don't want to spend this kind of money? No, we went ahead with the park. Beach refurbishment, where the people along the beach with condos, houses, or whatever, charge for the beach refurbishment. No, it's public, it's open to the public, the canals are open to the public, so I feel, even though we don't have all the public from Horry County gone to this particular area, we have enough people to justify not the homeowners paying for it, especially now, once they dredge, the homeowners still won't be able to get to the channel, they'll have to use the public ramp.
I support going ahead with the dredging, but with the modifications of the plan. And I thank the council, in particular, for all the work that you put into the project this far, and remind everybody it's a long ways to go yet. It's a big project, and it's important in North Myrtle Beach. You should all keep the shoulder to the wheel and get this done. Now, the second point I want to make, the channels are public property and man-made, and to continue to function, everyone should expect them to require maintenance, just like roads, water lines, sewer lines, storm drains. The city takes those others on as their own and maintains them and pays for them with our taxes, and I don't see any reason the channel shouldn't be treated the same.
For the size of my property, that's about 75 cubic yards of material. It's like 7 dump trucks. To pay $24,000 for 7 dump trucks is highly absurd. The channels, that's Cherry Grove. That's the infrastructure. So to charge us, because we simply have properties in the proximity of the water, is not sensible. Why don't you charge the people of Windy Hill when the road gets paved in front of them? It's public works projects.
Because the city hires some idiots in '91 that digging Hog Inlet, and they dug on the incoming tide, and the next year we all had sandbars at the entrance of Moon Creek and all our channels. All we have to do is get rid of the sand. We don't have to pump 1 ounce of pluff mud. It will go away on its own. We just need to get rid of the sand. Get a federal grant for beach renourishment, pump the sand off, problem solved.
We do need dredging. How we come about that is up to the mayor and council and to the residents themselves. But my question is the thought process, okay, of taking dredged material, taking it a mile through a fixed pipe that goes across the marsh under Little River Neck Road, allowing it to dry out, which I think is going to be a pretty smelly process, okay? It is a saltwater marsh, okay? Why can't that dredged material be taken probably a good par 5 shot into the ocean as we do the outfalls here, instead of going a mile inland into the intercoastal waterway area?
In my opinion,
Cherry Grove Creek, Hog Inlet. This is the most used and abused saltwater inlet on the coast of South Carolina. The city came and built a nice public boat ramp with about, I don't know, 30, 40 spaces for trucks and vehicles. Then they went and cleared another couple of acres in the park, private property, for another 40 or 50 vehicles. And if you go down there most any time during the summertime, 80% of those vehicles are out of state. They pay no taxes, a small fee to pay. They pay no boat rent fee. A lot of us do not rent our houses. A lot of us live here full-time. The people that do have rental property have a way to recoup some of these extra taxes, extra fees. And, you know, maybe there's an idea that perhaps rental property should pay a little bit more.
What is Cherry Grove going to be if we lose our channel system? Does that impact the business district along Sea Mountain Highway? I say yes. Does that impact the greater North Myrtle Beach area? I say absolutely. Is it the responsibility for 761 property owners to save the channel system in Cherry Grove? I say that we should spread it around.
But after that last comment that we're letting people opt out because in front of their house it doesn't affect them, they're not going to have to dredge their little 50-foot, so it doesn't affect them. That is ludicrous. I hope when y'all heard that comment, y'all were like me thinking, what do you mean it doesn't affect them? They're not going to take their boat and go down the next 50 feet or the next 50 feet. They're not going to come up and fish up my canal. They're not going to ride around and visit their neighbors. I know well and good that property taxes, as the gentleman said, will go up and there'll be more revenue there. You know well and good, like Ocean Isle, people will flock here loving to rent a place where they can put a boat in the water. I've done that at Ocean Isle before I owned property in Cherry Grove. For you folks to think that the rest of the community is not benefiting from this is just idiocy. Please don't think that. And because they are benefiting from it, please spread the love. Don't put it all on our backs. That's ridiculous.
And I'm wondering why I only have like about 15 feet of lot on the waterway, and I'm wondering why I gotta pay $20-some $100 a year for a piece of property that y'all won't even let me use.
I'm going to give one quid about my property value. It's my home. I use it because I enjoy it. It gives me some innate value that you cannot put a dollar sign on. But I will tell you that because I'm not a resident of North Myrtle Beach and Horry County, I pay taxes at a significantly higher rate than people who live here. I don't think that's fair. I've never thought it was fair, but I've done it. But I will tell you that paying the assessment in the form that we're going to be assessed, and then everybody gets all giddy because, oh, we've got more tax base, we can tax you even more, is inherently unfair. And frankly, it may tax me straight out of my home. I got a child I got to put through college. There are other people in here on fixed incomes who don't have unlimited resources. So in the future, as you go through this process, be mindful of the fact that we will have paid for this increase in value significantly. And I would ask you not to penalize us in the future in such a manner that we cannot continue to have the joy and the pleasure that these homes provide to us and our families. Thank you.